Hi everyone, and welcome back to Art with Mrs. S. Today we're going to do a collage by arranging a composition. So what we're going to need today, you're going to want a large piece of paper. So I chose black, it can be any color though. And then you'll want a couple other colors, they don't have to be a full sheet of paper, to create this composition or collage. What we're gonna also do, I would draw out some of these shapes, some that are straight edged or sharp or curvy, and then we're gonna arrange these to create a nice composition. So a nice way to create easy shapes, if you wanna make a diagonal line, you can cut off the corner. Another really easy way to make a shape, if you draw a line from edge to edge and then cut those out, that's gonna create some nice shapes for you. There's a little more complex or complicated shapes. You could cut out something more of like a splat or a blob, and those curvies are gonna be a lot harder to cut. And I'm making these shapes randomly, so if you don't wanna make the ones that I'm making, you can create your own today. These are a little more freeform than what we've been working on. Lately, we've been doing circles or triangles or squares. These don't have to be those shapes. Let's do a nice zigzag here too. And when you're done cutting these out too, you don't have to use all of the shapes that you cut out. You'll have to decide what you're gonna keep and what you're gonna take away. So after you've drawn a few of those, I just used a marker, you used a pencil, you're gonna start cutting those out. Remember, when you're using a pair of scissors, you have your thumb in the small circle part and then your peace fingers in the bottom, and always, always, always cut out and away. So I'm gonna chomp on these lines, kind of start collecting or gathering up all those pieces. I would keep even the pieces that you did not draw, because you might end up liking those or needing those for your final composition. Cutting out and away, turning my paper so that my scissors are always facing away from me. There you go. Just from that one color, I already have some really interesting shapes, some really interesting lines that when I start organizing these on my paper, I get some things that look really fascinating, really interesting, adding more interest to my artwork. There's green. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out my next color. You could have all the same color if you just have black and white. You can color some paper if you don't have construction paper. You do what works for you. And that's all I had from that purple. Moving on to my next colors. Always cutting out and away, remember? When you cut something that's curvy or has that soft rounded edge, you gotta turn your paper as you're cutting. So it takes a little coordination. You gotta turn and cut. Turn and cut, still cutting out and away. Turn and cut. Turn and cut. You can already see how much more complicated it could be. Turn and cut. Put that to the side. I'm on my last piece of paper. You may not have had this many shapes. Those corners are really easy to chop off. And last but not least, I'm gonna chop this curvy one. Turn in my paper, turn and cut. All right, so now I have all of these. It's kind of like a puzzle piece to work with, to organize, to create a composition. Now, if I just left these how they were, that doesn't make a very interesting composition. It looks kind of random, where it's kind of like scribble scrabbling but with paper. So I want to take my time and organize these so that my design's a little more clean, a little more thought out. If it helps to move those off the paper and out of the way, that helps too. And I'm going to start gluing some of these down. You'll decide when that time's right for you. I'm going to glue this one on the edge. I really like how that sticks out those jagged lines. And then I have this nice zigzag, kind of looks like a lightning bolt. I'm gonna have that one out just a little bit from where those are at. Create that space in between. Fantastic. Add in a couple other colors. You can do some overlapping, so you can do colors on top of other colors today. Put this one up in the corner. So it's almost kind of like you're rearranging this puzzle. You made all these pieces, you're organizing them, seeing where they kind of fit back together on my large piece of paper, making something new. Put this splat over here. And again, you don't have to use all your pieces. So even like this one here, I'm not really sure if I need that or not, or if I would want to trim some of that off, some of these bigger pieces. I have some of these other triangles that I might use. I haven't decided where I want to put all of them at yet. You kind of have to decide for yourself. Of course, when you're all done, don't forget to share and post a Padlet with your first and last name and classroom teacher. I can't wait to see all of your wonderful compositions today. Have a good day. Hopefully you had fun.